for children, such an important topic here in San Antonio. Jessica Knudsen, she's the CEO and president of Clarity Child Guidance Center, joining us today to talk about an event they have coming up, but really the work that you're doing in our community and nonprofit-wise. So thank you for being here, Jessica.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, first of all, for our viewers who have never heard of the Clarity Child Guidance Center, talk about your work and how you help kids and their families.
So we're the only nonprofit in South Texas that is dedicated solely to the treatment of kids ages 3 to 17.
Wow.
So we have an 8-acre campus in the medical center here in San Antonio, and we get kids from all over the state, even out of state, coming in seeking treatment. We currently have 66 inpatient beds, so those are for kids that are in current crisis, and we're opening 8 more in about a month.
Wow.
Just finished construction on a renovation, and we'll get those beds open, so we'll be at 74 inpatient beds. We run a day hospital program where kids can come during the day, attend groups, and go home at night. And then probably what people think of traditionally, outpatient therapy and psychiatry services as well.
And you know, talk about the need here in Bexar County for these services, especially you never think children, 3 or 5 years old would really need this.
You know, the research shows that 1 in 5 kids is going to have some kind of struggle with a mental health issue over the course of their childhood. So if you look at the population of Bexar County, that's hundreds of thousands of kids that need some kind of intervention. The pandemic hit kids really hard, and we are still seeing ripple effects of that. And the younger ones really were in a very pivotal place when the pandemic hit. So our 3 to 5-year-olds were really spent a lot of their first really strong developmental years in isolation. And we're still seeing the impact of that.
Gosh, 2 years later. And Jessica, before we talk about your event coming up, there's a stigma. We don't want to admit that we may have a mental health crisis, that we may be struggling. And especially with children and teens, it's even harder. Talk about how you work to overcome that in the community.
So unfortunately, the research shows that it takes about 8 years from a symptom being presented to someone actually getting into treatment. And a lot of that is the stigma. We want it to be anything else. Besides a mental illness. I think it's something that impacts every family in some way, shape, or form. You know someone, if it's not your immediate family, it's someone at your church or your neighbor, or it does impact everyone. And I think just talking about it and normalizing it, I think helps to break down that and hopefully gets people to seek treatment.
Yeah, and it's so wonderful that you are there for a resource for those families as well. And you have a conference coming up, Claritycon, in next month, right? I was looking at the date, next month, really reaching out to not only the community, but teachers, former teachers and former counselors like myself, who the school districts don't provide that support. Talk about why that's important for you guys.
So this is our 11th annual Claritycon. We have it out at the Hyatt Regency Hill Country Resort and Spa. Professionals can get up to 12 hours of continuing education, and it's really designed, if you have a child in your life, there's something you could benefit from this conference. We have conferences, everything from how to discipline a child and how to do it effectively, how to deal with the stigma if your child has gotten labeled the bad child at school, and how to deal with that. Some tips for counselors, as you mentioned, for teachers in schools. And so it's really designed to empower everyone in the community to be advocates for children's mental health.
And it goes back to that stigma, fighting that stigma that you're not a bad kid because you're struggling with a mental health crisis. Many just don't know how to identify it, and the parents as well. And talk about, we talked about it's for counselors and teachers and credentialed professionals, but you also have something open to the public. Can you talk about that?
We do. So it kind of goes hand in hand with our major fundraiser for the year as a nonprofit. Our keynote luncheon on that Friday is open to anyone to purchase tickets, and we're very excited. Dr. Delaney Rustin is our keynote speaker. She's a physician, mother, and documentarian that made a series of 3 films called Screenagers.
Wow.
And it's all about the impact of screens, social media on mental health, particularly in adolescence.
So important. That is such an important topic right now.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you, Jessica. Unfortunately, we are out of time. I was looking for, can you just give us a shout out to your website, how they, oh, there it is right there, how we can get involved and sign up for the conference if we'd like.
And we are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week if anyone is in need or in crisis.
And you can see it right there, info at claritycgc.org if you need help. Jessica and her team is there. Thank you, Jessica, for being here with us this morning. All right, we are going to send it right